Alrighty guys, what is going up? Welcome back to the best investing money management channel on YouTube. I am your host Carter, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the top 9 growth ETFs to buy as soon as possible. Now, for those of you that don't know what an ETF is very simple. It's pretty much just a pool of stocks together. Okay, one thing you have to look out for is what you call an expense ratio. So really what this is it's the holding fee that the company will charge to hold all the stocks together in the ETF. So overall, the reason why I love ETFs is because it's very, very hard to pick and choose the best stock at the time, because everybody, yes, wants to have that long-term outlook, but also a lot of people like to look at the companies that are making the most money. And the craziest part is if you guys went and looked back 10 years, so all the way in 2011, if you would have just bought the top, the largest companies back then, look at them. Okay, so you guys can see the largest company was actually Walmart. And if you would have bought in, I'm sure you'd be up, but imagine if you could have put that in Apple or Facebook or something along those lines. Apple and all those weren't even in the top 10, right? So you guys can see we had Shell, ExxonMobil, BP, and a variety of other ones. So the thing that I'm getting at is you always have to be pretty much diversified. And if you are strongly focused on a sector, you will be good. Just have that long-term outlook. So the first growth ETF that I think every investor should have is ARK. Now, ARK Innovations is a great it's a fantastic ETF. It has a variety of companies in it, such as Square, Roku, Tesla. So you get diversified among some of the top, most disruptive companies out there with an expense ratio very, very low at 0.75. So you're exposed to a ton of stocks with beautiful growth, and honestly, you don't pay too much for it. So if you'd have just bought this thing here, or since it came out, you'd be up quite a bit, well over 510%, which is definitely outperforming all of the indexes for sure. And if you just bought in last year, you'd be up well over 100%. So the thing that I'm getting at is you have to just have that long-term outlook. And ARK is one of the most aggressive ETFs out there. They're really, really tech heavy, which if you're a tech guy, you'll love it. So carrying on to tech, this is another fantastic ETF. It's ticker symbol BOTZ, BOTZ. Now, what this one is this is an artificial in robotics ETF. So you have a variety of companies that are working in the the artificial intelligence. So you'll still have the beautiful ones like Google and Amazon and all of those, but you'll also be diversified into smaller companies that are starting out and could be the next Google or Amazon and all of that. So you guys can see it has a nice solid upward trend. Really major support near that 200 moving average line. It could be a little temporary overvalued, but a good strategy for all of these would be that dollar cost averaging. So what this does is, you don't have to time the market, so to speak. You can just be consistent and you'll make money that way. So moving on to the next one here. The next one here is a clean energy ETF. I've talked about this one in the past, but it's still one I would highly recommend. It's ticker symbol QCLM. So this is pretty much just a clean energy ETF. It has a variety of companies in the wind, solar, renewable energy sectors. And you guys can see the past year, this thing has been an absolute powerhouse. Really having major support near $20 or that 200 moving average line. And if you just bought in, held it till right now, you'd be up well over 100% in value. So I think with the overall sector and mindset with renewable energy, I think that we're going to get more and more reliable on it, because people are realizing that, it's better not to burn fossil fuels, and there's better options out there. So if you're a believer in that, this could be one that could definitely skyrocket within the next couple of years. So moving on to the next one here. This is another, guys, fantastic growth ETF. It's Print. this is another ARK ETF, but the reason why I like this one is mainly focused on 3D printing. A lot of people don't realize how amazing 3D printing is. So 3D printing companies are working with a lot of healthcare companies because we are trying to make literally parts of our bodies out of 3D printers. And I think that's absolutely amazing. Imagine if you could just go back, make a liver or some sort of bone or small piece that could save someone's life. I think 3D printing definitely carries a lot of long-term potential, and I think we are just getting started in that sector. So the next one here is ticker symbol ONLN here. This is what you call pretty much it's an online retail ETF. So you'll have a ton of companies from Amazon, eBay, J&D, and a variety of other ones that are really focused for the online retail world. So I think that with the overall, lockdowns we've seen in the past year, I think that online retail is only going to get more and more, larger, because people realize that you don't need to go out to actually get groceries or order or, get smaller things nowadays, because it's so convenient that you can order something today and get it either later today or tomorrow. So it's very fast turnaround, and it's absolutely crazy. So moving on to the next one here, it's ticker symbol CHIQ here. Now this is one that some people would disagree with, but this is a Chinese consumers ETF. So for those of you that don't know, China is actually growing very fast on their consumer basis. So you guys can see the absolute growth we've seen in the past year, $16 all the way up to almost 45, sold off down to 32. That sell-off brings opportunity, and I think China is growing very fast, in some cases faster than the United States. And it's always hard to realize that the United States may not be the best. I know it's hard to say, but China is growing on their, imports, their outports, and a variety of other things. It's a very strong economy. Moving on to the next one here is ticker symbol IDRV. This is by far, IDRV. This is by far one of the most amazing ETFs. So this is a self-driving and electric vehicle and tech ETF. So in my opinion, this is probably going to be the most sought after couple of sectors in the next 5 to 10 years. The reason why I say that is because we have companies like Tesla, NIO, we have Ford, GM. All these companies are really just focusing on creating self-driving electric vehicles. And this ETF will capture just the overall sector growth of it, so you don't have to pick and choose those individual stocks. So the last and final ETF that I want to talk about is ticker symbol BLOK. Now this is a blockchain ETF. In my opinion, this definitely does carry a little more risk, but overall a lot of reward. The blockchain sector is obviously proven to be an absolute powerhouse, and I think this ETF will take advantage of that. So those are the top 9 ETFs that I would recommend for high growth. We will see you guys later. Remember to stay happy, stay positive, and stay safe out there. Take care.